Hello and welcome to a game between IdrA and JiSooNOMG. IdrA will be playing as the red Zerg player, and it looks like he's off to a huge disadvantage as two of those drones were on the same mineral patch, and also because his opponent will be playing as the blue Terran player at the lower right hand corner. This is JiSooNOMG TvZ and the map is going to be Jungle Basin. Let's take a quick look around the map as this game is going to get underway. The map area does have a large area for the base, and it does have two ramps. One ramp that leads to the middle of the map, and another ramp that leads to the side natural expansion. The natural expansion is relatively safe to take. There is no destructible rocks here that blocks the path, and there is a set of destructible rocks over here that prevents any early harassment. And of course, it could go down to additional damage from units. And there's another expansion to the side. There is a ramp over here and another ramp over here, so this expansion is a little bit more difficult to take. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map there are two expansions, one over here and one over here. Both these expansions are exposed to the Zalnaga watchtower that gives vision to any unit that is next to it, and it looks like very early part of the game JiSooNOMG is going to decide to block off at the bottom. The reason Terran players do this is to deny scouting information, because it only takes two buildings to completely block off the ramp at the bottom, but it takes three buildings to block off the ramp at the top, unless you're using a factory and a barracks, but that takes a little bit more time. And it looks like he will be building a marine and putting the marine on the ramp, which is a good idea. A lot of players don't like to do this because then the surface area for the Zerglings to attack would be around here, 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 and here, and here. It's more exposure for these buildings, but that is a risk you have to take. And it looks like IdrA is going to be opening with the extractor as well as the spawning pool. IdrA was more favorable for the hatchery first builds early parts of beta and retail, but it looks like he has decided to go for a more conservative build, and I think he is going to be putting down that hatchery soon with the drone, but the drone is going to come outside and scout around for a bit. Meanwhile, the orbital command is going down for the Terran player, but I don't think this drone will get too much information as the Terran has already completely walled off, and there is going to be one marine coming up momentarily. And this drone is coming across the map about the same time the SCV for JiSooNOMG is going to be coming inside the base of IdrA, and IdrA will get exposed. He does have Zerglings on the way, I believe, and no, the first set of Zerglings are coming now, and the drone cannot get inside the base of his opponent, and it looks like he will have to back away. He does have one Overlord position on the side here, so he can sacrifice that Overlord at any time to get some scouting information. All of the drones that were on the gas line has decided to get off of it to allow him to get more minerals per minute. And it looks like he does have a slight disadvantage as there is going to be one mule for the Terran player. The mule is a huge early advantage game changer for Terran because it does allow him to get extra minerals. And we can see on the side there's going to be a factory underway for the Terran player JiSoon, while IdrA is going to be taking his expansion, trying to get that economic lead back from the Terran player. And it looks like he is going to be researching metabolic boost, which is a very common thing to do. Metabolic boost does allow his Zergling to move much quicker across the map, and it looks like the Overlord will still stand on the left hand side, not going in to the main portion of the map. He is not scouting the Terran base. If we take a look at his visions, he doesn't see anything but just the supply depot and the barracks. He sees absolutely nothing about the main base, so he does not know about the factory nor the starport that is being built. A reactor is getting attached to the factory, and I think, one Zergling was killed there as we take a look at his bloody corpse on the floor. The factory will allow him to make a lot of Hellions with that reactor attachment. It looks like, I think he's going to go in for some sort of harassment here. JiSoon is going in for harassment, and the army size is going to be at 30 to 29. Very, very close for both these players, but I think IdrA does have a lot more units. He does have 15 Zerglings, which is exactly what he needs for around 7 of those Marines, and we can see 2 Hellions coming out, and a tech lab is getting attached to the starport. So we may see some early Banshee harassment very, very quickly, and the Zerglings are in a very nice pattern, and they do get a surround on these Marines, and the Marines do fall in about half of those Zerglings do survive, and more Zerglings are being made, and I think the Zerglings are going to try to run across the map. But Zerglings don't perform very well against the Hellions because the Hellions do extra damage to the light units. The Hellions do 8 damage normally and 14 damage to light units, and looks like a Banshee with Cloak will be coming out momentarily. This is a great idea, keeping the pressure on his opponent, and I think this is what he needs to do. He is not expanding, so this is a very risky build because IdrA will be able to macro up very, very nicely, and there's going to be one Marine at the base, while the second Banshee, or no, the first Banshee is coming out, and the cloak is being researched at the moment, and the Hellions are coming across the map. There is going to be a Zergling that will spot this incoming onslaught from the Terran player, so IdrA does know it's coming. He does correctly put 2 Queens at the top of the ramp. This prevents the Hellions from rushing in, because the Hellions don't do extra damage to the Queens, and it actually takes quite a bit for these Hellions to kick down Queen without their upgrades, and one Zergling comes in and does some harass, and the Hellions will have to fall back. At the same time, a Roach Warden is being opened for IdrA at the moment, but he has not that much anti-air. He only has 2 of those Queens, and as soon as Cloak with the Banshees are going to finish, he's going to have a tremendous advantage over IdrA, because IdrA does not have anything to detect Cloak units at the moment, and he only has 2 Queens to deal with the units that may come his way. Yes, he only has 2 Queens. He's also going to be making an Overseer momentarily. And if we take a look at his vision, once again, he doesn't see anything but the front part of the base, and it looks like there's going to be some Hellions at the bottom of the ramp, along with 2 Banshees that are coming out. And the Overlord is, the Overseer does come in on the side, and he's not in great position. The Hellions are coming and killing off a lot of these Zerglings. The Overseer finally gives vision to the starport that is in his base, and I don't think IdrA can make it back here, as the 2 Banshees are at his front gates with the Hellions, and the Roaches are being set on fire, and the Roaches are very good against Hellions, but here comes the Banshees, and the Roaches are going down very quickly to the focus firing of the Hellion and the Banshees, and 2 Queens do come over, and we see Cloak Zerglings running forward, but they can't do anything against these Banshees, as the Overseer is still inside the base of the Terran player, and IdrA is very happy at the moment as he gives his thanks to his Terran opponent, and he's probably going to leave the game momentarily. Hope you guys enjoyed that game. This is JiSooNOMG. If you like what you see, please do subscribe to me at youtube.com/JiSooNOMG. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys at the next game.